I swear we are through. We should still have fun, though we say we're done. 'Cause I just wanna get done with you. For the last time, I can call you mine. Once more, then I swear we are through. You can tell me. We should still have fun, though we say we're done. 'Cause I just wanna get done with you. For the last time, I can call you mine. Once more, then I swear we are through. We should still have fun, though we say we're done. 'Cause I just wanna get done with you. For the last time, I can call you mine. Once more, then I swear we are through. You can tell me.
We are all traveling this life journey together, and we are all so much more alike than we are different. We all have our aches and our pains, and we get crabby sometimes, and we sometimes don't want to do what's good for us. We overindulge, we fight the battle of the bulge. That's just life. But you know what? Doing it together eases some of the pressure. Be kind to yourself as you travel on this journey of life. We all need to be a little kinder to that reflection in the mirror and realize you're doing a whole lot better of a job than you think you are. All right, here you go. There's your pep talk. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. Today's practice is all seated. Every day we practice live on Facebook and YouTube, and we leave the recordings up for a few days so you can catch them if you can't do it live. But it's a 1 hour long practice, live start to finish, and every practice is different. Every day is different, right? Your body every day is different. Bottom of the screen says, do what's right for your body. Don't hurt yourself. If something hurts, don't do it. Back out of it. Modify, modify, modify. The fact that you're here, the fact that you've shown up on your mat, that is the biggest measure of success. Today's practice, like I said, is all seated. One of the peak pose we're working towards is that hero's pose. Big stretch in the quads, big stretch in the knees. You can do it. Yes, you can. You can do it, so let's do it. Come on down to your mat, grab your props, and let's come into a wonderful position, very difficult pose called Pentacle. Oh boy, good. All right, so come on down to your mat. You can do this. Don't sweat it. So come down to the mat. Stress number on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. Where are you today? Right now, lock that number in and let's start bringing that stress number down. Come on down to your Pentacle pose. So all the way down on your back, arms are high overhead, legs are spread, and you can bring your body into the shape of a capital letter X. All right. Doesn't feel so great in the shoulders, modify it. Kind of think of a snow angel. Bring your arms down a little bit to where it's comfortable. You might even find yourself going into a Shavasana pose, but just be comfortable. Take a big breath in and a big sighing breath out. Let it go. All right, this pose, Pentacle pose, it does a lot of things. So you're getting that shoulder flexibility going a little bit. Your pinky toes are falling toward the earth, so a little external rotation of the hips. But the biggest thing is the fact that you are just kind of aligning your body, getting everything equal, midline. Think of your body right down the center. Everything's nice and even, equal. You're resetting. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale it out your mouth. Soften in the eyebrows and just appreciate this time that you are taking for yourself on your mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel the shoulders soften. Your body, your spine, your glutes, all just soft. Bend your knees. You can keep your eyes closed. Bend your knees. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Let your knees open to the sides of the room if that feels good. And your arms, bring them down a little bit. And then bend your elbows. And come into that goddess-like pose. So maybe you bring your elbows to about shoulder height. Or maybe not. You're going to do what works for you. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out in your goddess pose. Press the backs of your forearms into your mat. Hello to you guys that are practicing live. It's good to see you. Mary Jo, Tyrone, Lori, Lynn, Tammy, Esther, Stanley, Margarita, Kelly, Rena, Marietta. Hi. All right. Breathe. A little external rotation of the hips going on. Taking that a little deeper, right? Cactus arms. Let your chest open up. Think of your heart going up to the sky. That's always a good thought. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let it go. Bring your knees back to the midline of your body, and we're going to go into a banana asana pose. Send your legs long onto your mat. Arms, lift them up overhead this time. Maybe let your palms meet, just over the crown of your head. Stretch it out. You're in a little stick pose here. All right, think of a banana, the shape of a banana, slight curve. So with your arms reaching long to the top of your mat, let the arms both go to the top right corner of your mat. So just a little curve in your upper body there. Keep your left shoulder down. I think that's part of the hardest challenge in this pose. And now your lower body. Move your heels so they come to the right corner of your mat. And the challenge here is to keep your left hip down. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Oh, don't you feel it? This is a nice lateral flexion of your spine, a sideways bending movement. Nice big stretch all up the left side of your body. Intensify it a little bit by taking your right hand, grabbing your left wrist, and give it a slight little tug. Intensify it a little bit more in the low body by taking your left leg, lifting it up, and crossing at the ankles. Just breathe here and feel the goodness of this stretch. Your curve doesn't have to be big. Don't strive to make it huge. Just feel what you feel and let it feel good. Keeping the hip down makes a difference. Keeping the left shoulder down, that makes a difference, a positive difference. We're all after positive differences, right? Breathe in, breathe out. Stay in any of these poses longer if it is speaking to you today. Maybe your body needs more of this banana asana pose. Maybe your body needed more pentacle, so you're staying in pentacle. All good. All right, I'm going to let go of my wrists. I'm going to uncross my ankles. I'm going to work everything back to the midline. I'm going to stretch it out with one big breath here. Settling into the shoulders and just enjoying this moment. Walk your heels to the bottom left corner of your mat. Let your arms be long or with a little bend in them. That's good too. Work your hands to the top left corner of your mat. Check in with that right shoulder. Make sure it's down. And same with that right hip. Keep it down on your mat. Stay right here. Perhaps your left hand grabs your right wrist and you give it a little bit of a pull. And kind of the equivalent in the low body, maybe your right leg lifts up and you cross at the ankles here. Soften in your jaws. Big stretch here, through the ribs even. Maybe a little more of a pull on the wrist. Maybe you adjust a little more by sending your heels a little more to the left. maybe you would like to reach a little more to the top left corner through your fingers. Nice stretch here. All right, unwind the arms, the legs, and come back to the midline in that stick pose. Hello, Betty. Hello, Nancy. How are you? Lengthen up here, breathe in. And breathe out. There is your pentacle pose and your stick pose and your banana asana poses all rolled into one. How does that feel? All right, let's come back to a pentacle pose. Stretch it out. Don't stress out. Let it all go. Reset. Big breath in. Big sighing breath out. And whenever you're ready, you decide, whenever you're ready, you can stay here in your pentacle pose, or we can make our way up to go into a child's pose. But your call, remember that. I'm going to bring my arms down by my sides. I'm going to press on up. Oh, I feel better already. I hope you do too. All right, child's pose. Knees together, big toes touch. Hips back to your heels if you like. Use a block underneath your forehead. Arms down by your sides. Shoulders away from your ears. And you know, if you don't like the pressure on your knees, stay in your pentacle pose a little bit longer. You can remove the block and bring your forehead down to your mat. You can take a wide-legged child's pose. Knees spread wide, big toes touch, arms reach long to the top of your mat. Block under the forehead or no block at all. It's all about just surrendering to your body, to this moment. You don't have to do for anybody at all. You're just doing for you. That beautiful reflection in the mirror. Breathe in. Breathe out. Close your lips if you like, and engage your Ujjayi Pranayama breath to allow you to go deeper inward, to focus inward. Focus on the sound of your breath. You can stay in this child's pose longer if you like, totally fine. You know, you can stay in the child's pose for the entire practice if that feels good for you. You do what you like. I'm going to press on out of this child's pose, and I'm going to come on up to a seated position. All right, I'm going to do another big one for my knees, but it's up to you. If the knees don't feel so great, have your legs long. No big deal. I'm going to bend my knees, and I'm going to come into that thunderbolt pose in preparation for we're going to do that hero's pose later, like I mentioned. So I'm going to sit back on my heels. If you don't like that so much, if it's too intense, take the block, put it between your ankles, and have a seat on it. It's all good. You find what works for you. Remember, don't stress. It's just yoga, right? All right, the purpose is to choose purpose over perfection. Nobody's perfect. All right, you're seated comfortably. We're just going to wiggle the shoulders a little bit. You know, circle them back to the back of the room. Maybe the eyes are closed. Circle the shoulders forward. That feels awkward. You're not alone. It feels awkward for everybody. All right, finish with the shoulders. Be still. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, settle in. Shrug your shoulders up close to your ears really tightly. And then shrug them to the back of the room. Feel your chest expand. And then sink them on down. Do a couple of those types of really strong, tight, holding shoulder shrugs. All right, soften the shoulders, maybe give them a little wiggle. Tee out your arms. Time for a big hug. We all need more hugs. Let your arms cross at the midline of your body. Reach your fingertips towards your spine. You got a nice tight grip here. Elbows are kind of crossed at the midline. Sink the shoulders on down, and then expand the shoulders to the side of the room. Nice, tight, big hug. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. All right, here's the word to think about today. The word to think about is travels. Travels. Travels means to proceed or advance in any way. The word travels, you can think of it in your head. I don't have it on the screen. To proceed or advance in any way. And you're there you go. You are advancing in your practice. Yes, you are. How's that tight squeeze with the hug? Let's open up the arms again. Tee them out. Drive the backs of the hands to the back of the room. to proceed or advance in any way. And you are. Crisscross the elbows at the midline, fingers reach toward the spine, soften in the shoulders, expand the shoulders to the side of the room. Breathe in. Breathe out, eyes are closed, jaws aren't clenched, teeth aren't touching. You're just relaxed here, enjoying a big hug. What do they say? It takes 20 seconds for the strong effects of a hug to really transfer from person to person. 20 seconds. Breathe in. Breathe out, strong hug. And then release. Tee out your arms, let the backs of your hands float to the back of the room, open up. And then let your hands float down to your thighs. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out as you soften in the shoulders, and just gently turn your head from left to right, right to left. Now you don't have to have your eyes closed. Maybe you like having the eyes open and looking over your shoulder. Totally up to you. Let's finish up. Come back with the head to the midline. Do some neck circles. Just move your head about on your shoulders. You got a good head on your shoulders. Move your head. Maybe the chin goes up to the sky and you tuck the chin to the chest. Just float the head around on the shoulders a little bit. Just find really good movement here. Let's finish up. Come back to the midline of the body. Turn your head to the left. Take your left two peace fingers and place them on the outside of your right jaw. Give yourself a little nudge here, a little peace nudge, as you take that twist a little deeper than we did a few moments ago. With the help of your fingers, a peaceful nudge. Come back slowly to the midline of your body. Turn your head to the right. Lift your right peace fingers. Touch the outside of your left jaw. Breathe. That's the most important part. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. And then let's finish. Come back to the midline of your body. Take a deep breath in. And a shoulder shrug, however you like, as you let it go. Cat-cow. Cat-cow pose. Come to a neutral tabletop. In your neutral tabletop position, take a deep breath in. Press the tops of your feet into your mat. Press your hands into your mat. Deep breath in. Deep breath out, neutral tabletop. Let's take it to cat-cow. Tuck your chin to your chest. Tuck your tailbone under. Arch your back up to the sky. Cow pose, just the opposite. Tailbone lifts and crown of your head lifts. So do some cat-cows to your pace of breath. And remember, if your knees don't feel good, always bring a towel to your yoga. Slip the towel under your knees. There's also little products called jellies, that are soft, and you can slip them under your knees or under your wrists, whatever feels good. Another option would be to just take your mat and fold it over a little bit. All right, so you're moving your spine, getting into the spine. Tuck your chin to your chest, and then let the chin go up toward the top of your mat for cow. Let's finish up in our cat-cow pose, and let's go into a broken wing. All right, so if you don't like broken wing, if you know it's too intense for you, here's an option. I'll go into broken wing in a second. Remember that big hug we gave ourselves? Let's do it with just one hand. Bend one elbow and just hug the arm in. And then when we switch shoulders in broken wing, you can switch to the other shoulder. Remember, we're all on different paths, but all the paths lead to the same destination, which is better mobility. So do what feels right for you today. I'm going to come down to my belly for this broken wing pose. For broken wing, I'm going to tee out my right arm to begin, bringing the hand to about shoulder height. I'm going to bend the left arm using the left hand underneath my collarbone to be my leverage. I'm going to roll onto my right hip. I'm going to bring my head down to my mat. You could also bring it down to a towel or a block. Remember, lots of ways. Press the left hand into the mat and feel this big stretch in the right shoulder. Adjust your arm. Maybe you prefer to bring the arm a little more down toward the hip, or maybe you like to put a bend in the elbow. There are ways to make everything work. Just show up. All right, legs can be straight. Legs can be in a little bit of a fetal position. This left arm, use it as like an elevator. Push into it a little bit more if you want to intensify the stretch, or ease off the pressure if it's just enough where it is. Top leg, left leg, you can bend it and bring the sole of the foot to the mat, driving the knee up to the sky, and hold it here. Just a little different variation. Another way you could take it is to bring that leg behind the extended leg and press it into the earth back behind the extended bottom right leg. You do what speaks to you today, but just enjoy your broken wing or your big hug. Let's switch to the other side. Roll onto your belly. Take the time to roll here. Enjoy the getting here. Extend your left arm long. Right arm bends. Roll onto your left hip. Right hand, press it into the mat. Legs can be long. Little bit of a fetal position. Top leg can be bent with the sole of the foot pressing into the mat, knee going to the sky, or bring it behind the knee of the left leg and plant the sole of the foot and just breathe. You do the variation that you like. Elevator right arm can intensify the pose even more. Your decision. Slowly, when you're ready, roll onto your belly. Place both hands underneath your collarbones. Let's press on up. Think seal pose. Strengthen your arms. Come on, you're strong. Press into the arms. Straighten them up. Soften in your glutes. Gaze forward. Come on up to a seated position. Send your legs long on your mat and find your strap. Find your strap. How do your shoulders feel? How does your spine feel? It's all good, isn't it? All right, take your strap, place it under the soles of your feet. Maybe that's a long way to go. It's all right. Find it. Lengthen up. Hold on to the strap. We're going to do a seated forward fold with this strap. We're going to do it several ways today. So with this strap, lengthen up. And as you exhale, hinge your chest, hinge at the waist forward, bringing your chest closer to your thighs. You can walk your hands down the strap, holding on to both of them. Inhale, lengthen. Your belly's going to push against your thighs, making you rise up a little bit. Exhale, hollow out your belly. Let your chest come closer to your knees. No rush, no hurry. Don't worry about it. Wherever you are, it's A-okay. It's good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Look down to your knees. A little bend in your knees might feel really nice. Let's remove this strap. Let's go into a bridge pose. So we folded and compressed at the top. Let's open up the front of the body. Come on back to your back. Arms down by your sides. Knees are bent. Press into your feet. Lift your hips on up for a bridge pose. Arms down by your sides. Fingers reaching toward the bottom of the mat. Wiggle your shoulders a little closer together and press into your feet. Press into your hands. Lift the hips on up for your bridge pose. Slowly roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Bound angle, remember that one? Knees open wide, big toes touch. Hold on here. Tee out your arms if that feels good. Bend the elbows, sweeping the backs of your hands along your mat or your floor. Bring them on up so your forearms are parallel to the sides of your mat. You're back to your reclined goddess pose, getting into those hips in preparation for our lovely hero's pose. Stay right here. All right, now we're going to go into bicycle next. You don't have to do it. You can stay in your reclined goddess. Great pose. I'm going to bring my knees together at the midline of my body. I'm going to bend my elbows a little bit more, bringing my fingertips to my temples. I'm going to lift my legs on up so my knees are at hip height. I'm going to lift my shins so they're parallel to the mat or parallel to the sky. That's true too. Fingers at the temples. Peel on up, and I'm going to bicycle here, extending my left leg, left elbow toward my right knee, and then alternate and hold. Nice and slow, kind of coasting on your bike, right? Emphasize a little bit of the twist, elbow toward the knee. It doesn't have to touch. You know, it can just come in the neighborhood of, right? Hold it. Other side, hold it. And you know, variations, maybe you decide to keep your shoulders down and you just want to move the legs a little bit. It's all good. And as you're ready, are you ready? Let's finish up here. Send your legs long onto your mat. Take your stick pose. Palms touch, fingers reach, toes point. Big breath in. Big breath out, stretch it out. Bring your arms down by your sides. Let's press on up and come into a boat pose. All right, here's the deal with boat. We're going to do it with the strap for a little bit, and then we're going to change it up. Take the strap underneath the centers of your feet. Lean on back as if you were in a beach recliner sitting on Marco Island with a cocktail in your hand. Life is good. Send your elbows closer to your waist. Lean on back. Chest is lifted. Back is straight. Lift your feet on up and hold. And play with this a little bit. Do your legs, you want to go higher? Keep your chest lifted. And you want to keep them nice and low. But you're leaning back. You want to feel tightness in your belly here. Tightness in your core. Hold on. You got it. There's your boat pose with your strap. Stick with it longer if you like, or let's kick it up a notch. I'm going to remove the strap and bend my knees. Hold on to the backs of my knees. Lean on back and extend the legs here. Hold on, chest is lifted, breathe. Maybe walk your hands down to your calves and hold on to your calves. Breathe, focus. Look where that ceiling and the wall meet. Hold on here. Maybe reach a little farther towards your ankles. Hold on. Breathe. You know, it's totally fine. Still do it with the strap. Maybe move the hands a little bit more toward the ankles. Hold on. You got it. Breathe. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. If you're doing it with the strap, totally fine. This is just something a little different to just kick it up a notch maybe, especially in the mind. Yoga's the union of the body, mind, and soul. Make it work for you. Bend your knees. Maybe feet come down to the mat or not. Little bend in the knees. Hold the feet up if you like. Row your boat. Little half twists here. Row your boat, dipping one elbow toward one side, then the other. If you got your feet down, good on you. Maybe you're just kind of working your hands. Kind of a little dance move. Left to right, right to left. Make it work. You got it. Twist. Twist in your little half boat. All right, finish. Come on up. Seated. Legs are long. Toes are up toward the sky. Take your strap again. Place it under your feet. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Sitting up nice and straight feels good here. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Bring your chest towards your thighs. Walk your hands down your strap. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let your chest come closer to your thighs. You can do it. And then finish. Remove your strap. Let's go back to boat. Come on down to your back. Bend your knees. Arms by your side. Lift your hips on up, high to the sky. This time, perhaps interlace your fingers behind your low back and wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine. Press your pinky fingers into the mat. Lift your hips even higher in your bridge pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Arms release down by your sides. Roll your spine down slowly. Take a moment here. Think of your spine as a pearl necklace. Lovely little vision, right? Lower each pearl slowly down, one vertebra at a time. Keep your tailbone tucked up and lifted. Think of how when you do cat pose, what that feels like. Keep your tailbone up as long as you can. Keep lowering those vertebrae down, down, down. Once you're ready, release. Once everything is down, then release your tailbone. Really release your tailbone. Think of it all coming down to the mat. It feels really, really good. It's a similar sensation as when we do legs up the wall, and when we do that and we say, oh, push the bolster onto your feet to let the tailbone come down. Feels really good. Be aware of your body. Be aware of alignment to strengthen your body. All right, so there we are with that bridge pose. Let's come into a plank. Okay, and you knew it was going to happen. Come on up, press on up. Take a variation of plank that you like. If you're not into planks today, here's what you could do. Mentally get into planks today. You could be reclined on your back. Take your blocks and press them up to the sky. So think that you're, 180 degrees flipped. Think of the sky, the ceiling, as your mat, as you push into the mat and imagining that you are in a plank pose. Other variations of plank, you can take lots of them. You can take your arms from a neutral tabletop. Spread your knees so they're comfortable. Hinge your weight more forward so you feel the weight in your arms and your core engaged. You can come down to your forearms, send your legs back a little more and stay on your knees. Look between your hands and hold here. You could tuck your toes, press on up and take a dolphin plank. You could take a high plank, shoulders over your wrists, legs long, pushing into the mat, staying strong like a plank. I'm going to take a side plank today. So we're going to do it for 2 minutes. We're going to set a timer. It's on the mat. Only 2 minutes because one side then the other. You can do 30 seconds. You can do whatever you like, but just do something. All right. So I'm going to bring the forearm parallel to the side of the mat. Maybe you come onto your hip and maybe you decide I'm going to stay down on my hip. Totally fine. I'm going to straighten my lower legs. The only legs I got. I'm going to straighten my legs. Pop on up, set that timer, please. Let's go. Timer, 1 minute. There we go. All right. Hips are lifted, pressing into the forearm. Here's the deal with the forearm and the side plank. You always want good alignment. You want the elbow underneath the shoulder. You want to push hard into this forearm, into the mat. All right, so we are, 15 seconds in? All right, lift your hips up a little higher. Maybe the left arm reaches up to the sky. Hold on and stay strong here. Breathe. You can take breaks anytime you like. You can lower the hips down, take a breath or two. It's all good. We're 30 seconds in. Hands to the shoulder or to the hip if you like. Press into the forearm. Forearm strong. You can do it. I don't know what variation you're in. The hand, maybe you want to kickstand it too. It's a little bit of a break, right? Okay. Hand to the hip, hand back to the sky. I'm going to lift my hips a little more. 10 seconds to go. You can do it. Maybe look up to your fingers for these last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Oh my goodness. Whew. All right. 1 minute plank. I don't know which variation you took. Maybe you're going to take a break and come into your pentacle pose. Or if you're doing the side plank with me, thank you. Let's come on to the other side. Same thing here. Forearm parallel, fingers spread wide. When you're ready, let's go. Timer, 1 minute. There we go. All right, press on up. Now, right arm can go up to the sky. Forearm is pressed into your mat. Hips are lifted. The good thing about planks does so much to strengthen everything you got. I can't really see the clock. Okay, 15 seconds to go. Good. All right, so it heightens your metabolism, helps with back pain, gives you better posture, helps you balance better. Everything is engaged in your plank pose. Lift my hand up. Okay, we got 30 seconds to go. Hold on here. Maybe hand on the hip. Little break with the hand on your mat. Hips are lifted. All right, 20 seconds to go. Breathe. Keep breathing, obviously, keep breathing. Deep breaths, let the stress go. 10 seconds to go. Breathe, enjoy your variation of your plank. Breathe in, breathe out. 3, 2, 1, and done. There we go. Come on down. Which variation did you do? Which variations do you like? I'm gonna grab a drink. Okay, so the thing is you wanna shake it up. Planks are so good. If you were on the knee plank, if you were on your back, pushing into the ceiling, it's all good. It's all good. Do you believe that? Believe it, because it's true. All right, so we did our forearm plank. Let's go on to our bellies and do Superman and Swimmer. This one's a fun one. Strengthens the low back. Come down to your belly. Superman. All right, arms go long, like an extended child's pose. Your belly is on your mat. Spread your legs a little bit, whatever feels right. Don't stress over it. Head's at the midline of the body. Let's lift one leg. You can have your head resting. I'm not resting my head because it kind of crushes the microphone. But rest your head on your mat. Lift your right leg up. Hold it. Lift it a little higher. Bring it on down. Lift your left leg up. Maybe a little higher. Hold it. Left leg down. Both legs up. Maybe hold them here. Maybe lift through the arms as well. Lift on up and hold. Take any variation you like. Maybe just the legs, maybe just the arms. Hold. Superman. Fly like Superman. Take it to a Pilates swimmer. Start to kick your feet. Arms move too, just naturally because you're kicking your feet. Breathe in your swimmer. Reach. Come back to a nice still Superman, gliding through the air. Lift your feet a little higher, hold. And then come on down. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Bend your hands, bend your elbows. Hands under your collarbones. Remember, seal pose. Press into those strong arms. You did a plank pose. Your arms are strong. Press into your arms. Come into seal. Chest is lifted. Soften in the glutes. Let's take it a little farther. Camel. Come up to your knees. Place your hands behind your low back. With your hands behind your low back, push your belly forward. Squeeze your elbows toward your spine. You're looking forward. Tops of your feet are pressed into the mat. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Look up overhead. Push your hips more forward. Breathe. Maybe look back a little farther, like there's a raindrop just about to hit you right between the eyes. Let's finish. Come on down. Have a seat on your heels just for a little bit. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Send your legs long onto your mat. There's a method to my madness today as we move through this. Your spine's going to feel really good, and you're going to be able to do that hero's pose. Lift your toes up toward the sky. You could use your strap to do what we've been doing with the forward fold, or I'm going to take the block. We're progressing on our journey, right? Travels are good. The journey is good. Lengthen up through your arms, high to the sky. Exhale, reach forward. Maybe you're using the strap, and that's good. The strap is great. Maybe you're reaching for your toes. Maybe you're reaching for the block. Gaze down towards your knees. Let your calves be on the mat. I don't know what level of progress you want to be at. Maybe you don't have a strap today, and you're just hinging forward using your hands. Use your body. Maybe you're reaching your calves, hugging the elbows in, taking that forward fold. Maybe you're taking it a little deeper and measuring it with the block here. Breathe in, breathe out, remove the block, bridge pose. Come on back to it. Soles of the feet on the mat. Slowly roll down, hands to prayer center. Roll on down nice and slowly. You can do this. Once you're down, heels up closer to your bottom, arms down by your sides. Push on up through your hips. And if you want, wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine. Maybe interlace your fingers behind your low back and press your thumbs or your pinkies into the mat. Maybe you notice it's a little more doable this time. Breathe in, breathe out. Roll on down that spine, one vertebra at a time. You know how to do this now. Slow, slow, slow. Nice and slow, keeping your navel tucked to your spine. That's the way to keep the tailbone lifted. Once you feel like, oh, I can get one more vertebra down, one more. Once you get them all down, release and let the tailbone go down. Press on up, maybe no hands at all. All right, legs go long on your mat. Find your block or two, spread your legs, bring the blocks between your legs. All right, blocks can be at whatever height you want it to be. Maybe you got 3, and then bring your forehead onto the blocks. Play with the height of your blocks. Lots of height. Lots you can do with these things. Maybe rest your forehead onto your block. Little bend in your knees might feel right for you. 1 block, 2 block, no blocks. If you have no blocks, that's fine too. Use your hands and your forearms. The blocks, think of them as bringing the ground up to you. Just kind of makes it nice. Breathe. You can stay here longer. I think this pose feels so great. Maybe you would like to stay here, but right now I'm going to go into a lunge. Legs come together. Let's bring the blocks by our sides. Come on over. Come to standing on your knees. We do lunges a lot. Oh, don't your hips feel ready for it? All right, they feel really capable and able, right? After all those forward folds and all those, the camel pose and the bridge pose, you're ready. Bring your right foot forward, right knee over right ankle, left leg goes long onto your mat. Put a towel under there if it doesn't feel so great. Blocks by your sides, knee over ankle, press on into the blocks, maybe lift the arms on up, maybe take a little back bend. Hands back to the blocks, start to surf. What do I mean by that? Just straighten the right knee and rebend it. And give yourself the grace to meet yourself wherever you are. How hard it is to accept where we are sometimes. Let it go. Be kind to you. All right, surfing, right? Maybe you bring your heel, your bottom more back to your left heel. Walk the blocks back with you. Send your right leg up to the sky. No pressure, no pressure. You do what's right for you. Maybe today it's shoulders over the hips and you're just holding on to the blocks. And a little bit of movement in the knee. It's all good. Walk the blocks back. Maybe sit on your heel. Walk the blocks forward. Lean into it. Do what you like with what you got. Maybe hands to prayer center. Strong core because you did all those planks. Maybe with your strong core, you don't use the blocks at all. Let's finish. Come to the other side. Left foot forward, knee over ankle. Send that right leg long. Feel that stretch in the right hip. Hands to the blocks, shoulders over the hips. All progress if you want to take it. Maybe your journey today is a little bit of a rest right here. Arms lift, baby back bend. Hands back to the blocks. Little surfing, little surfing. Just move. Working that right hip, working that left knee. Maybe walk them on back with those blocks. You don't have to put your bottom on your heel. It's up to you. What feels good? Remember, purpose over perfection. What is perfection anyway? Surf however you like. Once or twice, or 10 times maybe. Whatever feels right. All right. I think that's good right there. Maybe you want to keep surfing. Go for it. All right, I'm going to bring my knees together on my mat, standing on my knees. Hands to my low back. Remember camel? Elbows squeeze towards your spine. Push your hips forward. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Look higher. Raindrop between the eyes time if you want. Breathe in, breathe out. You're opening up through the front of the hips. All right, come on down. Have a seat on your heels. Let's talk about camel. I'm going to take, or not talk about camel. Yeah, we can talk about camel if you want, but let's talk about hero's pose. I'm going to grab a drink. You can stay right here. Are your knees ready? Don't sweat it. If it doesn't feel right, if you're experiencing pain, come out of it. Don't do it. Try to take it in layers and see what happens. I'm going to take this block and put it between my ankles at a low height, at its stable height, and just have a seat. Maybe that's where you want to stay. Welcome to your hero's pose today, all right? So stay right here. Okay, that's one way to take it. If you have a half block, you know, those shorter blocks, maybe you want to use that instead. You could remove the big block and sit on your half block. Maybe you're ready to remove both blocks. Move your legs apart a little bit. So you want the insides of your heels kind of touching your hip crease. Good thing about this pose is you can rub your feet. That's kind of nice. Give yourself a foot massage. Now the measure here is to just check in with your knees. Are your knees down or are they popped up? If they're popped up, bring them back down to the ground. Maybe that means reintroducing the block underneath. Go for it. I mean, you know, who's judging you? Don't judge yourself. Be kind to that person, that soul in the mirror. All right, knees are down. Maybe bring the blocks behind you. Maybe put your hands on the blocks. Maybe that feels better. You can lift up the chest and hold on here. Maybe you slip down, forearms to the blocks. Check out your knees. Are they down still? Keep them together and down. And you rest on the blocks or the half-size blocks. Maybe you say, I think I'm ready for a little bit more. Then come on down to your forearms. Then, maybe a little more, come down to your shoulders. All right. Here we are. Last little bit of this hero's pose in its fullest expression is to lift your arms up overhead. Bend your elbows and think ragdoll arms. Work your hands toward opposite elbow creases. Keep your bottom down. Relax in your bottom. Don't stress over this and take your hero's pose. Whichever variation you're in, it's perfect. We're all on different paths, right? Take your time getting to where you want to go. Okay, so I was talking about taking your time to get where you want to go. As you know, we are getting ready to move from Colorado to Florida. We were going to do it in 3 days, 10 hours a day. Let's do it. Let's press. But my lovely husband said, no, let's take our time. Let's enjoy the journey of life. Let's enjoy the journey. 5 days we're going to take. 5 days we're going to take it leisurely. I don't like to drive long distances. So anyway, how's your hero's pose coming? All right, so anyway, we're going to keep the broadcasts going, same place, same time, all the time. Don't give up, don't quit. Breathe in, breathe out. Enjoy your hero's pose. Big stretch in the quads, whichever variation you're in. I hope you're feeling it, and I hope it's feeling good. All right, I'm going to float my arms on down by my sides. I'm going to wiggle my elbows closer to my spine. I'm going to press on up the way I came into the pose and come out of this hero's pose. All right, how are you doing? Let's take pentacle. Oh, how do your ankles feel? That's a big one on the ankles too. You know, we do ankle pose and toes pose lots of days. Big one on the ankles, isn't it? Pentacle pose, come on down. Come on down, all the way down. Arms go high overhead. Remember we started this way? Just breathe. Pinky toes fall towards your mat. Arms, maybe snow angel, you decide. Soften in your cheeks, in your jaws. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. All right, let's bring our arms down by our sides. Come on up and find your 2 blocks. We're going to do fish pose. A nice treat after that hero's pose, right? So wherever you did it, I mean, good on you. Seriously, don't think, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. Stop with all that nonsense. You did what you could do, and that's excellent. All right, 2 blocks. They can be at their stable height. They can be at the next higher height. They're in the shape of like a letter T with some space between them. The horizontal block is at the top of the mat. The vertical block is about 6 inches beneath the horizontal block, and it's positioned here. I'm going to recline on this with the vertical block between my shoulders and my head resting on the other block. So bring your bottom up close to the vertical block, and you're going to have to adjust because nobody ever gets this right the first time. So come to recline, and this vertical block, you want it between your shoulders. You don't want it at mid-back. That doesn't feel so good. You want it between your shoulders, and you're aware of your shoulders, right? Because remember, we did that multiple bridge poses today where we said tuck your shoulders. Think of like squeezing a lemon between your shoulders. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. All right, squeeze your shoulders together. Hug this block and adjust. Adjust the block so it is truly between your shoulder blades. Bring the other block to rest your head upon. Oh boy, big opening in the chest. Feels really, really good. It should feel good. If this is too intense, maybe put your blocks back at the stable height. You can have no blocks at all too, and think of doing a bridge pose but reclined, arms down by your sides, or maybe you'd like to tee them out a little bit or a lot. And feel the goodness in the chest. I'm going to put a little bend in my elbows and bring them down almost like Shavasana-like. Legs can be long on your mat. Legs can be bent with the soles of your feet on your mat. That kind of instantly eases any tension you might have in your low back. I really feel that that's really pleasant. Or think of a fish tail. Maybe bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees open wide. And you know, I use 2 blocks. You could always buy more blocks. They're not expensive. And maybe you'd want to slip your blocks under your knees whenever we do this reclined goddess pose or cobbler pose or Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups or this variation of fish. You know, support yourself. You can always, you know, if something's hanging out in space like our knees are, if it doesn't feel really good, think of blocks as bringing the ground up to you and use blocks there. Find the height that works. And just enjoy. Gotta enjoy the journey, right? The journey of your yoga. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Do you need to adjust the shoulder block? If you do, do it. Your bottom should be on your mat. Don't let your bottom hang out in space. I've seen a lot of people do that. Don't do it. Your bottom is down. You're anchored. You're improving your standing posture here. You're opening up your chest, allowing your organs to function better. They've got space. Take advantage of it. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. As you breathe out, shoulders are away from the ears. Let gravity help the shoulders move toward the earth. As you breathe in, think of your heart full of sunshine rising up to the sky. That's just a beautiful image. And as you exhale, settle in to relaxation here. Breathe in, breathe out. Fish pose. This one feels so good. After you nestle in, right? I mean, when you first come in, it's like, oh, that's intense. But we do it on Thursdays and Sundays as well as part of our restorative practice. And we would do this pose on a bolster, which is more comfortable, like a big strong pillow. And we hold it here, we stay here longer, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, however long feels good for you. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, so fish pose, we got one more pose, it's final Shavasana. If you want to stay here in fish pose longer, go for it. If you want to come into your final Shavasana pose, here's a way to do it. Don't try to sit up off of your blocks. Send your legs back to the starting position of just long on your mat and roll off your blocks one side or the other. You've only got a couple inches to come on down. Roll off your blocks. Remove your blocks. You can stay in fish. You can, stay in fish for your final Shavasana. Find your eye shades, your eye shade, and or your towel. Cover your eyes with one or the other, and really do cover your eyes. It makes such a difference. And the eye shade is really nice because it's a little weighted. You can make them out of rice or whatever, or sandbags. And the pressure just feels really good on the eyes. Treat yourself. You've got to take care of you so you can take care of others. All right, I'm going to wiggle my shoulder blades a little closer to my spine, not dramatically, but just tuck them under. Arms down by my sides, heels to the edges of the mat, and then pinky toes fall out. Move your arms to what feels good for you. Palms up feels receptive. Palms up feels open to possibilities. I prefer to do palms up because at the end of my practice, I just feel so good and so right and receptive to new things. But sometimes you need to focus inward. And if you turn your hands so your palms are down, you just kind of feel more grounded and more secure by the earth. You do what speaks to you today. Deep breaths. Maybe sigh it out your mouth. Soften the area between the eyebrows. Even think of your cheeks working with gravity down toward the earth a little bit more. Deep breaths, no thoughts. That's the hardest part. Rest on your journey. Conscious relaxation. You're not asleep, but you're letting your mind rest. You're letting your body breathe. You're giving your soul time to refresh. Soften in your face, just maybe 5% more if you can. Soften your shoulders, maybe 5% more, just a teeny bit more. Let your body be heavy as you're trying not to hold on to anything. No muscle tension here. No stress, no thoughts, just being. Soften in the forehead and the area between the eyebrows a little bit more. movement in your body other than your belly going up and down. Take a deep breath in and a slow, deep breath out. Oh, this feels so great. Stay here longer if you like. If you got your remote control nearby, hit pause and enjoy this peaceful time on your mat. It's time for you to wrap up the hour and continue on your journey. Let's start to wiggle our fingers and our toes. Move your wrists and your ankles. Spread your fingers and toes wide. Squeeze and scrunch them to the center. And then let them go. Soften up. Reach your arms high overhead. Point your toes to the bottom of the mat. Stretch it out like it's the first stretch in the morning before you even get out of bed. Find that stretch in your hips. Lengthen through your fingers. Point through your toes. Stretch. Breathe. Bend your knees, bend your elbows, roll into a fetal position. Just feel how good it feels rolling onto your hip, rolling onto your strong shoulder, which is now more mobile thanks to your broken wing or your big hug. Bend your low arm, rest your head on your bicep. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Whatever works for you. Crisscross your legs, sit however you like. Eyes are closed, hands to prayer center, lengthen up. And exhale. Blink your eyes open. Stress number, you took one in the beginning. What is it now? It's amazing how much the stress comes down, isn't it? It's all good. Okay, so today's message, love yourself and your path. Make peace with your body and be kind to that reflection in the mirror. Love you guys. See you on your mats tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hello, baby. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. See ya. Grow, grow, grow. Don't stagnate. Don't stay stuck. Unstuck yourself. Come do your yoga every single day. Put a smile on your face and enjoy it and have fun and know all the good things that it's doing for you. And you know it is. Tell your friends about those good things. Tell them to come and join us with our yoga also. They do it from the privacy of their own home. It's free for anybody and everybody. They can do it. Yes, they can. Tell them about all the good things it's done for you. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Check us out. Remember to grow and stick with your yoga. See you on your mats tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.